What is up, everybody? How you doing? How you doing? Hope y'all had a great weekend. Super Bowl weekend. Wow, a lot of people in the chat already. Appreciate that. Brap in there first. Appreciate that, Nance. Meech in there. Yeah, I know, man. Brap is quick. He's quick. Overlord Falcor. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you, dude. Thank you for being here. Yes, Falcor in here. Meech says, just got back from the gym. All right, be right back. That's okay. We'll see you soon. Becky in here, too. What's up, Becky? Becky's always here. Scarf Mommy's here, too. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate you. Got the duck emoji in the chat. We got ducks hatching today. Again, you know, we got a second round going, so it's fun. Becky says, "Fly Eagles fly." Yeah, man, that was crazy. I mean, I was hoping for the Eagles to win just so the Chiefs wouldn't win, purely for that reason, but also like it's a cool story for them too, you know. And man, but it was just it was lopsided. I was not expecting it to be so dominant on one-sided, but yeah, I don't know. I'm no sports analyst, so I could not tell you why or what went wrong, but it was awesome. Kendrick was awesome. It was fun watch. Hope you guys had a great time watching too. Yeah, I got a what's up, Meech? Meech is back. Hello, hello. Yeah, we got a crazy one today, man. This is it is pretty wild what is going on here, and I don't know why. I don't know. Oh, Nugget in there. Quack then whack. That's mine are not meat ducks. But yeah, we do have some that are meat ducks, but not this round. These are the fancy ones. They're really nice. Bragg says, mess with the quack, you get the whack. That's right. Yeah, that's my message to all of the raccoon in the area. Oh, man. Yeah, so I thought this story was interesting because it popped up recently and there's new developments, but it's actually years old. And people are talking about it like it's some like new fad, some crazy thing that's just happened we're just hearing about right now in 2025 somehow. Yeah, Meech, fancy ducks with little tuxedos. That would be funny if they were. There are ducks that look like that, but no, these are called Welsh Harlequins. They're the same as the last ones. They're little like yellow and brown dudes when they're tiny, and then they grow up and their females are like white, and the males are kind of multicolored with blue wings. Yes, they have fancy pants. Yeah, and they lay tons of eggs. So yeah, that is that's why we like them. But yeah, so I tried to look through and see how long. Yes, little bow ties. They definitely do. Oh, that would be cute. I think we could get little bow ties to stay on. Like maybe we make them out of paper for safety. I don't know. I'll think about how we can make that work. Maybe we just like digitally add them into the photos. I'm not sure. But yeah, so when I heard this new story that was coming out, I was like, man, that sounds really familiar. I feel like I heard about that a couple years ago, and I was right. I found in 2022, this crime ring was a huge problem, and people were starting to figure out what was going on. And yet now, here we are 3 years later, still talking about it like we just discovered them. and these guys are clearly still in operation. So, let's see here. So this is here's a good little intro to what we're talking about. This is from March 2022, and yeah, so this is from March 2022, and they are reporting out of Northern California. The Hillsboro Police Department are working the case. And here's what they had to say.
On doorbell cameras cleaning out homes, but this is different. Police call it crime tourism. Groups of thieves from South America coming to California to commit burglaries. Eyewitness News reporter Sid Garcia explains.
Crime tourism.
This is surveillance video from Hillsboro police in Northern California. They say it shows a burglary crew from South America targeting a luxury home. It's just one in a series of crimes involving burglars from out of the country hitting homes in affluent communities up and down the state. Earlier this month, Ventura County sheriffs...
So he said affluent communities up and down the state. So this is like really prevalent in California in 2022.
Arrested a four-man crew that robbed a home in this Camarillo neighborhood.
This is crime tourism. They're coming here for the purpose of targeting neighborhoods, specifically vehicles, homes.
I'm not sure if they're going to talk about it, but there is a special visa, a 90-day tourist visa that we offer to certain countries that we are friendly with.
Not violent crimes, but they're going after the big bucks.
In the Camarillo case, sheriff's deputies spotted the getaway car and gave chase all the way into Los Angeles. LAPD helped out in arresting the suspects.
Okay, so they caught these
back
ones.
Up to golf courses and open space, and they'll literally stand in the bushes and watch. And when people leave, sometimes it's a 2-hour window. They go out to dinner or something like that. They go in and pounce. According
to Ventura County Sheriff's investigators, most of these tourist burglary crews are from Chile. They're able to easily obtain tourist visas to travel to California by applying online. Once they have their visas, they land at LAX and start their crime spree.
Now, all of these words don't sound like they're properly pronounced. Oh, okay. Oh, Jelly in there. What's up, Jelly? Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, they're talking strangely. I think that's... I don't... am I missing something there? Are we talking about the California accent? Or is it something I said strangely? Meech says, this is why I can't sleep at night. Hello, Jelly. It's always great to see you here. So that's really all we need to see there in that video. These guys were around, okay? That was in March 2022, okay? And then here we are in October 2022.
Took our ladder, went up there, and that's exactly how they got in.
Carrie Castaneda will never forget the night in April. Her Ring camera caught some burglars in action.
My family was like, 3 guys are leaving our house right now.
3 men climbed into her Huntington Harbor.
That is terrifying. Like, you're gone at work, probably. Your kids are at home calling you because people broke into your house. Like, this is like the scariest thing most people could imagine, because there's really, I mean, there's a lot of things that we do to try to discourage this, but we all know locks are for honest people, and if someone wants to get in, they're gonna get in, you know, and it's terrifying that this is happening, and really makes you feel powerless, especially after it happens to you. You know, you feel victimized. Jelly says, that woman sounded like Kristen Wiig on SNL doing her California impression. I know, the, what's that skit called? The Californians? Where they're always giving directions and stuff. They're giving, like, the Jeffrey type, directions with all of the highway names. Oh my gosh, man. California. Oh, that was a good skit. You're right. I don't know if any of the people who did the California skit are still on Saturday Night Live, because it's so the cast is so different now from when I used to watch. But isn't that what everyone says about Saturday Night Live? I don't know. But yeah, so this is happening still out here in California.
Harbor home and ran away with sentimental belongings worth $250,000. 2 months prior, neighbor Lisa Rooney experienced the same thing.
You can have alarms,
Lord
you can
have
have
mercy.
motion sensors,
People,
they're still getting in.
get a safe
They
deposit
don't care.
box. What are
According
you
to
doing?
Huntington Beach Police, burglary stats are back at pre-pandemic levels. The recent ones all seem to follow a specific pattern attributed to SATG, or South American theft groups.
Okay, now we're gonna hear this SATG acronym a lot, and I'm not really sure what to think of it, because I feel like if you are yeah, absolutely, Falcor in the chat, still here, I appreciate you. I feel like if you are a South American crime group or a theft group, you wouldn't call yourself like the South American theft group. So initially I thought like, oh, this has got to be, this has got to be what like the FBI or whoever's leading the national side of this investigation is calling the group, because they don't know. Because I was not able to find in any news articles that I read, any videos I saw, nobody mentioned like a specific gang. And oftentimes they don't even say specifically what country it is. There's a lot of reference to Chileans. A lot of the people who get arrested are from Chile and Peru. And that's, I don't know whether that has to do with anything, if they're all from there, or just they're the group is able to hire people from there more easily. I'm not sure exactly what's happening, but this SATG, you'll hear that a lot, and to me it makes absolutely no sense.
Organized criminals from South America who travel to the U.S. as tourists. Their MO, after surveilling affluent neighborhoods, they burglarize homes towards the end of the week while people are out for dinner.
They're not traveling as tourists. They're just, that's the type of visa that they're using to come here, is what she's saying.
They enter from the second story and leave in a rented high-end getaway car, so they blend in and can't be traced.
They're in and out in 5 minutes. They know, they're watching us. They know when we are not there.
Our research shows several regions across.
In and out in 5 minutes is super impressive. Like, you have to have a lot of knowledge of a home, I'm assuming, to be able to like be in and out in under 5 minutes just to do like one thing. Like, I don't know exactly what they're saying, because very few of these people will reveal what was stolen, because they don't want to say dollar amounts on the news after, their location has already been revealed. But yeah, it definitely seems like a lot of money is involved. Several officers and investigators estimate hundreds of thousands of dollars per week that they're able to do, because the people come in and they hit a bunch of homes, and then everyone leaves the country before the investigation can catch them.
Southern California, from San Diego to Ventura County, have been targeted for similar crimes by SATG. In January, the FBI created a special task force dedicated to these crime rings.
It shakes your ground. It's very unnerving.
Residents in Huntington Harbor have started their own community crime newsletter to keep each other informed. Still, they say they live in fear because their home no longer feels like a sanctuary.
So, I mean, that's a lot. And it's certainly terrible that that's happening out there in California. And then I thought, well, is it just a California problem because it's easy to get into California? I don't know. I didn't know what to think. So then I started looking around, and apparently it is happening all over the place. Okay, here's Indy in 2023.
This is Jack.
And it's a commercial, you know? We gotta watch commercials, apparently. I love a good commercial. Okay.
The international burglary ring. Those men are believed to be from South America. They're accused of breaking into a home on March 18th. A suspect vehicle has been found and led police to all 5 men in Jasper County. Stolen items were found in that vehicle. Now, Greenfield police confirm this case is connected to robberies in Hamilton County in February.
Falcor says they can afford to make it a sanctuary again. They will be okay. Yes, I am willing to venture that the items that are being discussed here are definitely insured, but that doesn't make it doesn't make you feel any more safe, even though like the value of your stuff will be replaced, or like maybe like you get those things back in theory, or at least the value of them, but like I don't know, then your house is kind of tainted at that point. Like you're always going to think about that and worry about the security factor, you know.
4 people from Chile were arrested in connection to a theft from a Carmel home. Fishers police have investigated
4
similar
people
cases
from Chile.
as well. CBS 4 spoke with the Fishers police last month about what we can all do to prevent these crimes.
We want the neighbors.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I think we all know what we can do to prevent home break-ins, but really there's nothing you really can do. If they're gonna get in, then they're gonna get in. Here's another one. This is a little bit different tactic, okay? This time they know somebody's home, so they go for a little something different. Jelly says the perks of never owning anything is no one can steal it from me. Hey man, that's true. That's one way. You know, you could just sucks to be a good adult, huh guys? Oh man. Yeah, it definitely, that's one strategy, is to not have anything, and then no one can steal anything from you. But see, like, I feel like these guys know which homes to target somehow. Like, I don't know exactly how they're figuring it out initially in these past ones, but as we'll see in the more recent ones, we know exactly what they're doing. But this is, I thought was scary too, because this is kind of a familiar scenario that everyone sees, is some guy who's not in a uniform and he's just in some orange vest from God knows what delivery service that's subcontracted by somebody else. And he's got an envelope he's looking at here, and seems like a pretty normal thing, but the guy's pulled up in a pickup truck for some reason. That's kind of weird. But anyways, let's see what he does here.
Only this is for you.
So if you can see, he's got the weapon in his right hand there that he pulled on him, and the dude just shoved him down the stairs. So that happened like really fast, and somehow that dude seemed really ready for that scenario. I gotta be honest, I might open the door. I might have opened the door for that guy. You know, like, not now. Not after I've seen all this. I'm suspicious of everybody. You got an orange vest on? I'm pulling my gun out too, just in case. Jelly says positive spin. That's right. We got to look at the bright side here. No one can steal my Lamborghini because I don't own a Lamborghini. Nugget says this happens everywhere and anywhere, but this is just Chinese and Russian propaganda, not an orange vest delivery person. Yeah, exactly. Like there's so many orange vest delivery people, and I trust them 99% of the time, but now it's like, man, what? So, okay, so here's May 2024 in Detroit. Jelly says this, so this is why people always question me even in my Amazon vest. Yeah, dude, because it's like anyone could get that Amazon vest or make an Amazon vest. You could probably order an Amazon vest on Amazon. Like, I don't trust anything. It's like when someone calls on the phone, you're like, yeah, sure, bud. Uh-huh. I don't answer any number I don't know. Right? Yeah, I thought the orange vest was the do not shoot target. Exactly. Exactly, man. So this is May 2024 in Detroit. The Detroit
My video was
area.
banned on TikTok for showing how to use the honey trick for eating. My husband.
Bloomfield.
Putting
Hills
some of Metro
area
Detroit's
of
most
Detroit.
affluent communities on guard against home invasions. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Carolyn Clifford. Police say teams.
Becky says, I just don't answer the door and have something close by. Yeah, exactly. That's a good strategy.
Teams of highly skilled crooks from South America are.
You see these guys in the bottom left? They have just a whole safe. They're just like rolling it along the patio.
Are on the prowl again. And they may be staking out their targets in ways that are hard to believe. 7 News Detroit reporter Brett Cast is in Bloomfield Hills tonight with a warning from.
So this is what the theory was a year ago.
Police.
Well, this has been ongoing as recent as a few weeks ago, and police departments say they've been getting phone calls from residents who are concerned about this, so they decided to host this town hall to answer questions.
I would be
and give
concerned
advice.
about it too.
Jammers, they jam wireless signals.
A crowded sanctuary inside Christchurch Cram.
Oh yeah, that's another thing they haven't brought up yet. These guys are using very sophisticated electronic equipment, okay? They pull up and have wireless jammers, which are illegal, of course, to own. But what that does, Black Magic in the chat, welcome. Thank you for being here. Nugget Man says, should I stop wearing my orange hat? I know, right? Jeez. I have orange vests. I have a yellow vest I wear for work. Like, are people gonna think that's suspicious now? It's crazy. Brap says wear a hockey helmet instead. No one will question anything. But yeah, so they're using really high-end wireless jammers. And what that does is it fries your security system unless it works on a wired feed, which some of them do, some of them don't. Also, it prevents your cell phone from functioning. Your Wi-Fi will stop working. Everything will stop working with these jammers because it jams all the signals in the area where it's running. I believe like only the military uses them in a legal way. I'm pretty sure it's illegal to own any kind of jammer, but I'm sure they're getting them from somewhere. You know, like there has to be a way. Nance says, luckily we have wired cameras. Yeah, see, that's good. Wired cameras are good. That's actually the more advanced security system rather than having the Wi-Fi enabled ones, because then they are not subject to any kind of interference, which apparently, you know, those things are easy to get. I did not search around for them because I don't want to be on a list somewhere of people who are looking for criminal tools, you know?
Pembroke, a town hall about a rash of home break-ins by groups of well-trained, well-organized thieves from South America.
We're very concerned, like all of our neighbors. and there doesn't seem to be an end in sight.
Jack Martin and his neighbors from Bloomfield Township came out tonight after multiple homes in their neighborhood were broken into.
This is near Detroit.
What went through your mind when you heard they were burglarized?
Concerned.
We had a car park in front of our home, and it was a stolen car with 4 guys in it.
Jack's friends Albert and Jeanette Cassar.
See, now this guy was vigilant, and he noticed, hey, there's a weird car parked out in front of our house. And then the police looked into it, and the car is stolen.
Say their next door neighbor was also hit, saying the thieves took a large safe and fled in a Bentley convertible.
A Bentley convertible, dog. What? Jeez. Okay, so they're not stealing like Kias and Hyundais here. They're out here in like the Rolls-Royce Wraith, you know, just out here robbing people. This is Detroit. Is that California? Yeah, this is WXYZ TV Detroit. Bloomfield Hills.
Yeah, it's scary. It's just too close for comfort.
They're just some of the concerned residents that showed up for tonight's town hall, where Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard and multiple police agencies
Oakland
came together.
County. Oh, you might be right, Nugget. Maybe the Detroit station is just reporting on it, and this one also happened in California. That could be.
To give tips and discuss the investigations.
It's
Sorry, I'm no
GeoGuessr. Not just one agency working this, that we're working as a unified force to try to solve these crimes.
Bouchard says it's estimated 100 of these crews are operating nationwide, mostly coming from Chile. At one point, they were...
That was crazy, that safe, they just shoved a whole safe right down the stairs, man. It just slid right down and crashed out. Almost hits that dude. That was crazy. But like, this just is
to try to
wild
solve
to
these
me
crimes.
Bouchard says it's estimated 100
they're able
of
to
these
be
crews
so
are
brazen.
operating nationwide, mostly coming from Chile. At one point, they were stealing $1 million a week from Oakland County.
$1 million
a
week,
planning their heist when no one is home.
Well, they've done pre-op surveillance. We've seen here and across the country utilizing trail cameras, remote battery-operated cameras, trackers on cars, and even drone units.
While the thieves have ran off when homes are occupied, Bouchard warned that may not always be the case.
Nugget, the top comment says, those areas that are getting broken into might have the worst and most useless police departments in Michigan. It's literally no crime going on in those areas. How is it with all that free time, they can't seem to find these guys? That's what I'm saying. That's a huge point to make right there. Buff Studwell 646? I mean, if all of these crimes happen in affluent areas, in areas that are naturally low or zero crime, what else do these police officers have to do besides focus their full energy on this huge international crime ring that's targeting their city? Like, Lord have mercy. Nugget says, shame on our education system. No, I was fairly certain that this was in Michigan, and it is. That's what the person in the comments concurs as well. Monday night in Bloomfield Hills, dozens came out for a town hall on South American burglars. So recently, though, eat more donuts. CB, what's up? Good to see you. Good to see you. We're talking about a mysterious Chilean crime organization, maybe. Still not really sure. No one else is sure. Oh, just got home. Now that's okay. You know, yes, you can have a life. That's great. I thank you for being here even for a few minutes. So recently, these groups have started to target a little bit higher profile victims.
You'll be back.
Like
Emu
this,
can't help people.
Like this emu.
The moment, NBA star Bobby Portis says 2 men broke into his home.
I had a home invasion, and they took most of my prized possessions.
And
Now, this is Bobby Portis's house. Bobby Portis plays for the Milwaukee Bucks, I believe. CB says South America can be sketch. I think I almost got kidnapped in Colombia. Almost doesn't count, Nugget says. Yeah, so they keep saying South American theft group, but also Chile is the only country that anyone ever mentions. So I don't know. I'm not sure why they call it SATG. But this happened at Bobby Portis's house.
this home surveillance video Portis posted to X last week, you can see the two in what appear to be face masks inside his home in River Hills, Wisconsin. The Milwaukee Bucks forward says he broke in during a home game last week against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he's now asking the public for help.
Any info that leads to the return of any of my belongings will be rewarded handsomely.
Police in River Hills, Wisconsin, working to track down the suspects, saying we are looking into all avenues, local and national, and are exploring what similarities there may be to the recent robberies of Kansas City Chiefs stars Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes.
It's frustrating. It's disappointing. I can't get into too many of the details because the investigation is still ongoing, but...
So they've targeted multiple NFL players and an NBA player. That was Kelce and Mahomes. That happened in November 2024.
The mega mansions of Kansas City Chiefs superstars Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes have been targeted by a ring of burglars. Kelce's estate was broken into at 7.
Look at that house, man. Like, it's not even like it would be easy to get onto this property because there's tons of land surrounding it. So I think some of the other officers mentioned what they do is they set up like game cameras, trail cameras, and monitor these homes for weeks before they fly people in to do the burglary, and then they all leave town. But yeah, like just looking at this, like it's not like you could just like be walking down the street and then walk up a guy's driveway and all of a sudden you're at this house. There's fences, there's woods all the way around this.
10:33 p.m. while he was on the playing field October 7th during Monday Night Football, Travis and girlfriend Taylor discovered the burglary when they got home. According to police, the burglars made off with $20,000 cash and caused $1,000 worth of damage to a back door on the property, which is apparently how they got in.
So they just found money and they left, thankfully. So he didn't really lose any like sentimental or irreplaceable items, it seems like.
Taylor and Travis were so creeped out, they reportedly spent the night at a Kansas City hotel. That's not all.
Yeah, dude, I would be too. I wouldn't want to stay in my house after some gang just easily broke into it and clearly had been surveilling it.
It turns out the day before, October 6th, the home of Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes had also been broken into. It's not clear what was taken. Mahomes and Kelce live about 10 miles apart.
Mahomes has been really quiet about what was taken, I think for purposes of the investigation, so that like if a person knew of a particular item that was taken and they called in a tip to investigators, that would like kind of help them narrow down significant tips, because you know they didn't release what specific items were stolen in the news report.
Mahomes was asked about the incident today.
It's frustrating. It's disappointing. But, I mean, I can't get into too many of the details because the investigation is still ongoing, but obviously something that you don't want to happen to really anybody, but obviously yourself.
Mahomes built the stunning mansion on 8 acres in 2020.
On 8 acres?
It has a 50-yard football field.
Oh, that's cool. But, I mean, you know, I guess you would want that if you're a football player, right? You want to have that in your backyard. But yeah, so, and then I think I called this one possible suspects. I think this is in reference to the Kelce and Mahomes break-in.
Living with opioid addiction.
Another awesome medical commercial. We love the medical commercials. Why couldn't they give me a fun song?
It's not some guy that's going down to the local pawn shop.
1 week after we found out about some of those high-end burglaries targeting Chiefs stars Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, tonight Fox 4 is learning about who could be behind them.
So they got a little bit of footage,
a highly
on
intelligent crime ring.
On this one, these guys slipped up, or they had some sort of separated security system that was like covert, and that's what a lot of people are recommending, is these dual security systems. Because if one fails or gets discovered, then you still have the backup one to rely on. Perhaps says we need the Sky Rizzy commercial. I know I think there's a new one, right?
I'm Kevin Barry.
I'm Lauren Halifax. Now, this, of course, is related to the video we showed you last week. Burglars hit another high-end home here in the metro and stole hundreds of thousands of dollars in jewelry. Fox 4's Malik Jackson's been investigating and joins us live now with new information you'll see only on Fox 4. Malik, the story seems to get bigger every day.
Yeah, it's definitely getting bigger every day. Perhaps says these robberies are hazardous.
We're considered a hazardous building.
Definitely a hazardous building when the South American theft group knocks on your door. CB says, I leave my door unlocked 90% of the time when I leave home. Well, that is good that you live in an area where you can do that. And honestly, from what it sounds like, the locked door is not much of a deterrent for them, because a lot of times they're not going through the door. They go in through a window or something. Meech says, this is right down the road from me in Leawood. Yes, this is Leawood, Kansas. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Just to get some bandos worth of stuff. Yeah, you know what? You're right. I think Travis Kelce lost $20,000 in cash in that robbery. You're correct.
Thanks for the 20 bandos.
Yeah, dude, made right off with those 20 bandos.
Yeah, the picture here is starting to fully be...
So, Meech, this is 2 months ago, okay?
Painted not only how sophisticated these criminals are, but how quick they are moving. And while this may be isolated, it
is not isolated at all. I can tell you from only 2 hours of research, it is definitely not isolated in the slightest. It's everywhere.
Maybe while it may be targeted, excuse me, it is not isolated. And
okay, all right, yes, okay, I should have let him talk. While it may be targeted, it is not isolated. That's correct. They're almost all targeted. All of these victims aren't random. It's not like the thieves just show up and they're like, oh, that house looks good. They're watching these targets for weeks and weeks. They're planting secret cameras and sensors. They put sensors on all the cars that come in and out of the house. Like, these guys are spending lots of money and time to surveil these places. And CV says Drew is a better reporter than Malik Jackson. No, I just spoke too soon in correcting him. He just misspoke there, but I am definitely not a reporter, but I can tell you my research from other real reporters that these people are incredibly sophisticated and they're putting tons of research into the targets that they're getting. And now they're kind of realizing, okay, well, we know that when a sports player is playing a home game, no one's at their house because they're at the game. So they target them for that time and weeks ahead leading up to the robbery. It's absolutely insane. Let's hear what Malik's investigation found.
Tonight, multiple sources confirm with Fox 4 that these criminals that are part of this ring that have hit houses here in the metro are part of a South American crime ring, which came to no surprise to our security experts. Less than a week after Fox 4 first showed you this exclusive video of two thieves pulling off in the end what turned...
Why did he switch the tone up like that? You know, like he was talking normal in the first segment. Like, why do reporters do that? They're like, less than a week ago when we brought you this exclusive video. I don't understand why we have to go into the weird sing-song. Meech says these people are probably posting a bunch of BS and flashing their fancy stuff on socials. That is another theory of one of the local police investigators in another city that was targeted, is that they were looking on social media before they were targeting specific professional athletes. They were targeting people on social media who had a fancy house, and then they'd look through pictures and see, try to identify specific jewelry pieces, watches to get their hands on. When they're coming, they know exactly what they're there for. Like, they already know what the person has, and that's why they're willing to invest the money and the time into surveilling the place, because they know what they're there to get and what it's worth. CB says 100% do not put your stuff on socials. Yeah, I'm more in the Jelly and Falcor scenario of not having anything for the people to steal. You want to smuggle some manure, some duck manure? I am your man. Okay, we have bags of it. I'll bring it to your house. You don't even have to steal it from me. Nugget says I get banned when I put my stuff on socials. Yeah, see, it's interesting. We can put the jewelry on socials, but if we put the pew-pews on socials, all of a sudden we're in trouble for some reason. I don't get what that's about. Perhaps says, can I post my favorite hippo though? I mean, you can post whatever you want on social. I'm just saying, whatever you have consent to post, certainly. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't be posting anything flashy. If you have like a really nice, like fancy, like a recognizable watch or something like that, I would definitely not be posting, photos of that, online. But I feel like some people, when they have a fancy thing like a Lamborghini or something like that, like they're even more likely to post like pictures like of them with their shoes that match the Lamborghini and the Lamborghini jacket, and all of the cool things that go along with owning a cool thing, I guess. But you definitely have to be careful, because it's not hard to find out where anyone lives, including these celebrities. CB says my expensive stuff stays on my body at all times. Other than that, take whatever. Yeah, for sure. That's definitely a good way to do it. You definitely won't get home invaded, and lose it while you're gone. Where are we here? Okay, the police may have suspects. Here we go.
Out to be a burglary worth over
$500,000. Okay, but key fact in this issue is reporters and police identify the new value of these items, but as we'll learn, when an item is stolen and the end buyer knows that it's stolen, they are paying a fraction of its actual value.
$100,000. Tonight, multiple sources tell us who the thieves in these hazmat-style suits are. Members of a South American crime ring.
It doesn't surprise me at all.
They're wearing like boiler suits in this one?
That this crime spree that's going across the entire country is designed by some very sophisticated people. in somewhat of a cartel.
Mike Barberi is a security expert who's worked with the federal government and law enforcement and has run security detail in more than 20 countries.
So somewhat of a cartel. Finally, we got one person to admit that it's somewhat of a cartel. We've heard it called a theft group and a crime ring so far, but we don't have an actual name.
Have a particular individual that's an athlete, a wealthy CEO. You can find out just about anything you need to find out about these people online.
Because all their stuff is public.
And the third victim Fox 4 worked to track down appear to not be alone as targets in this calculated crime spree, with professional athletes being hit in a suburb of Minneapolis and one in Milwaukee, where NBA player Bobby Portis says thieves walked out with, quote, most of my prized possessions. Barberi is clear that the work these South American criminals are getting away with starts well in advance of the burglaries, with weeks of intelligence prep and possibly even work inside of the homes.
Okay, so they're still trying to figure it out. Hey, and Nan says, somebody give this guy some X-Lax. He said, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That weird that reporters switch their voiceover for the narration. It's always that weird, really strained tone.
Anybody who's had their home worked on recently and then miraculously had it burglarized, you can draw a very interesting conclusion from that, right?
Yeah, see, that's why it's important to check reviews on people and make sure that they're, like a real person that's been around, not just someone that's been in the area for 2 days and all of a sudden they show up to clean your gutters or whatever. Meech says, this is exactly why I have all my personal info wiped from the interwebs. I work in a luxury industry and I don't need people showing up at my crib. Yeah, dude. Like, you don't want anyone knowing, where you are, what. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely agree with that. I mean, that is one thing you can do. There's a lot of services out there that will remove your information from the internet proactively.
So some of the people that were on the job site may know of some of these people in these cartels and may be selling the information.
Well, I mean, I don't know. That's kind of a leap. But definitely, they have some sort of in that they're using to get trusted access to these homes, or they're just really sneaky with the way that they're installing these like trail cameras and stuff, and putting trackers on people's houses or on people's cars as they come in and out of the house. Braps is extremely hazardous. That's right, man. It is very hazardous.
We're considered a hazardous building.
Definitely a hazardous building when the South American, generic South American crime group is in your city. Nugget says nobody is going to rob a bedbug infested home. Just saying. I mean, that is one defense strategy. I don't know if it's worth the drawbacks. But yeah, they are not targeting, they're definitely targeting only affluent neighborhoods, it's all the fancy neighborhoods only. So after it happened to those 3 celebrities, it happened to another NFL player.
Following breaking news out of Anderson Township, where someone broke into Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow's house last night.
Not Jabura.
WCPR 9 News anchor Brett Pagansky is live there now. Brett,
we got
you found out this happened while Burrow was playing in Texas last night.
Meech says the ultimate defense. Nice effing try. Yeah, that's right. Just put the sign out front. 2 tears in a bucket. That's right. Take the bed bugs to the stage.
Absolutely, Tanya. We found out this happened around 8 o'clock last night. That was coming from the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office, of course. That's when Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals were playing Monday Night Football against the Dallas Cowboys in Arlington. And just in the last few hours, we've seen multiple Hamilton County Sheriff's deputies going in and out of Burrow's home. Now, in that Hamilton County Sheriff's Office report, it says that the intruder broke through a bedroom window, ended up ransacking the place, stole.
Okay, so this one, they broke through the bedroom window. Maybe a second floor, like the one in the video from 2022, where they used a ladder to scale over the fence and they went into a second floor bedroom. This is the same MO. For the past 3 years, they've been doing the exact same thing. CB says this does make sense. Houses in Cincy be getting robbed on the reg. These are very affluent areas of Cincinnati, not over the Rhine and some of the areas you would tend to think of as like the more dangerous areas. I've never felt more unsafe traveling as a solo female than in Cincinnati. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of sketch areas. I used to deliver there back in college when I drove for a freight business, and yeah, it is sketch down there. Also, Northern Kentucky, yeah, for sure, Jelly. Yeah, that whole area is very. There's a lot of activity going on all the time, so it's very easy for things to happen right in broad daylight. But yeah, this is pretty wild here.
A number of items. They didn't say how many or what those items were. And the report also says that a woman who works for Burrow, that was in the report, discovered the break-in and ended up calling 911. So we got those 911 calls from last night. And in those 911 calls, it also included...
Okay, so this is going to be the 911 call of the young lady and her mother are staying at his house while he is playing Monday Night Football. CB says, good thing I'll be there again in 3 weeks. Oh, geez, man. Be careful. Be careful down there. Hopefully you're in a nice area, staying in a nice area. We'll have to talk about that off air.
The mother of the woman who was watching over Burrow's home, and she described her daughter just feeling terrified. Take a listen.
Yes, someone is trying to break into the house right now. My daughter is there. This is Joe.
Okay, so the mom is not there. Her daughter, she's calling the police because her daughter's there, and she's afraid to call because the burglary is going on right now.
Burrow's house. She is staying there. He's at the football game. She's wondering what she should do, if she should be hiding or if she should be going outside.
Definitely don't go outside. I would say you hide. I feel like you hide somewhere in the house and just hope they don't find you till the police get there.
She said someone's trying to break in?
Yes, she said someone was in the house.
Where did she hear the sounds from?
I don't know.
So the sheriff's office didn't list a suspect in that report, but we did find out that deputies are going to be looking at the various surveillance cameras in this neighborhood throughout Anderson Township. So we don't know who did this. We also don't know the circumstances behind this. Was this random?
Yeah.
Was this targeted? But it comes as...
was it random? Did they randomly... Tessa in the chat, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Do you really think it was random, guy? You think they randomly targeted a house and it just happened to be Joe Burrow's house? Come on now. That is preposterous, okay? So let's catch up with these Joe Burrow suspects. Nugget, everyone saying hello to the Queen in the chat. Hopefully you are off work for the evening and not taking care of the folks. But yeah, so here's these guys have a little bit of the body cam from when these geniuses got pulled over, okay? Now, they are smart in the way that they send off most of the loot and and like the high value items and all that, and like all of the tools used in the robbery, they are not with them when they're traveling afterward. But they do have a couple of things that are real coincidental.
Are you worried that using your home address?
Lord have mercy. You see this? Do you see what just happened here? Hey. This is one of those services. This is one of those services that deletes your address off the internet. Man, that is creepy. That is creepy right now. I do not vouch for that service. That was a completely random thing that just happened. Also, my like search algorithm and recommendations are absolutely just like fried forever on this computer because I'm always looking up the most insane stuff. So I get definitely a wild smattering of of recommendations here, but that was timely. Okay. Let's see these geniuses.
Of breaking into the home of NFL star Joe Burrow, and Will Reeve is here with that story and what was in that trunk. Good morning, Will.
Yeah, that's right, Rebecca. Good morning. This is compelling video on its own
It
and
is quite
as evidence
compelling.
for authorities. The police found a luggage.
See, he snapped into the reporter voice here. It's very essential. I would talk like this the whole episode, but it is exhausting.
Bag, a shirt, some tools, and a quite conspicuous hat. You're going to have to see this.
This morning, watch the newly released body
This
camera
is
footage
just,
showing the moment
like,
police zeroed in on the four
I
men
mean-
suspected of burglarizing NFL superstar Joe Burrow's home.
How you guys doing? Nice hat, bud.
On January 10th, an Ohio State Highway patrolman had witnessed a group of men carrying what looked like suspicious luggage to a vehicle from a hotel.
This is less than a month ago.
When the officer pulled over the men, four Chilean nationals.
Okay, and what they've given him here is like their paperwork for the apartment that they're staying at, as their identification in the traffic stop. But these four Chilean guys, and one of them just happens to have this special Bengals hat.
Three of them allegedly presented fake IDs. All four men are in the United States illegally, according to court records.
Where are you guys headed to today, sir? Orlando? Wrong way. Florida's that way.
The man in the front passenger
We're taking the long way to Orlando, officer. I don't know. I can't explain that.
seat wearing a Cincinnati
Is this like a child? Is this a female? This person in the passenger seat looks very young. Very young.
Bengals beanie. The team Burrow.
It says apartment rental services visitor. So when they got pulled over, they gave their apartment rental receipt as as their ID. I don't understand. But I guess if you don't have a real ID, what else are you gonna give them, right?
plays for. The officer bringing the driver to his squad car and telling the driver his car smells like marijuana.
Oh no! Y'all, you're making the escape. You're in the middle of the escape from the felony. Like maybe hold off on the toking. You know what I'm saying? Like just I don't know. I'm not a criminal mastermind like these guys, but I'm just saying. Seems like an easy way to give the excuse to get pulled over. Pop Smoke, Jelly says, that's right. Pop Smoke did unfortunately did get killed that way. Yeah. That was tragic too. He was very talented.
In Ohio, you can have a little bit, but we want to make sure that you have the proper amount. Is that okay?
In Ohio, you can have a little bit, but I want to make sure you have the proper amount. Translation, it's legal in Ohio, but we still use it as an excuse to search vehicles.
The driver agreeing to let the officer search the trunk.
And he just happens to have this massive Louis Vuitton duffel bag. CB, how much do you think this one costs?
Which reveals a Louis Vuitton bag and a
That's a pretty big bag. How much do you think that thing went for, you know? And they dude just set it on the ground, on the salty ground. He just set it down on the ground. My man, a second crime has been committed.
On bag and a shirt.
CB says, not the Louis, I know! What are you doing, dude? You have to realize the value of this thing you've just picked up and set on the salty dirt right on the side of the highway. CB says that's a 5K bag for sure. I mean, the Murakami Nano Speedy was 2,600, so I'm guessing this duffel bag is probably like 10 G's. Meech says they used to be 3,200. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, so they've appreciated in value. See? Well, hopefully Joe Burrow gets his Louis Vuitton bag back, because that is a lot of money right there, and you got to pay for a restoration now and get all that salt off of it. Lord have mercy. And then
from LSU, where
a random LSU t-shirt. You're a Chilean tourist and you just happen to have a Bengals hat and a vintage LSU t-shirt that's never been worn. What did they think? How could they possibly expect to not get busted here? It's like you might as well have just wrote on your forehead, hey, I just robbed Joe Burrow yesterday. CB says, looks like the men's collection. Oh, well, okay. So we know those ones are definitely not the expensive one. Okay. They're going to be a little more brutish and affordable. Meech says the duffels aren't as expensive because it's a simple design. Yeah, okay. All right, that makes sense. But it is a lot more real estate. You know, that's a lot of leather in there. You got half a cow's worth of leather on that bag. And now it's covered in road salt. And this, whatever is on this dude's gloves, dude, gross.
Burrow played in college. Police say the items may have been taken from Burrow's home.
They may have been. And then all these brand new pairs of shoes, which I'm sure, you know, definitely not devaluing them by just throwing them all in a trash bag with no box or anything.
And then, hidden behind the glove compartment, tools police say are often used by South American theft groups to break glass.
Okay, now, this is referenced a lot in these stories, the tool of the South American theft group. And this is the only shot I managed to find of it. Okay? Yes, restoration. Yeah, Nugget, I bet she does. I bet Meech has a fancy bag like that. You got a big duff, Meech? You got the big duffel? CB says Meech has the nice bag, not me. How are they planning on reselling Joey B's stuff exactly? Yeah, like the things they're taking are like unique items that are going to be difficult to steal, right? Or difficult to sell. They're very unique. So those duffels might be coated canvas, so not leather. Oh, okay. Coated canvas. Well, throw it in the salt bin, then it's basically worthless. That's a peasant's bag. Jelly says you could never make big money unless it was private because you'd immediately get caught selling the stolen goods. Yeah, exactly. CB says these robbers ain't the brightest bulb. But yeah, so I thought this tool that they focus on is interesting. It appears to be a flashlight that has a piece of porcelain protruding from the end that they use to break glass. So it's not really like some sort of like special South American tool. It's just that's just, you know, a glass breaker.
Glass and enter houses.
That's right.
Window punches.
Police suspect the four men of being involved in robberies of multi-million-dollar homes in multiple states. Burrow's home was broken into on December 9th while he was playing on Monday Night Football.
And like that, like little clip right there probably got copyrighted. CB says, my LV is coated canvas. I'm a simple peasant. I don't even know what that means. So I am not an expert, and I have no Louis Vuitton anything. So I'm not really sure exactly how it works.
That incident part of an apparent pattern of athletes' homes being burglarized while they're out on the job.
See, look at all these other guys that their homes were also targeted. You know, a couple basketball players, hockey players.
Kansas City Chiefs superstars Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes, both recent victims.
It's frustrating. It's disappointing.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I can't get into too many of the details.
And in the NBA, Milwaukee Bucks forward Bobby Portis posting surveillance video from his own.
Okay, so 2 weeks ago we had some developments in the
It's the best of both meat worlds for $6.99.
Lord, I can't with these commercials. Like we gotta get a second premium account here. CB says I'm laughing so hard. Meech says it is not at all a peasant's bag. Okay, I was just being facetious. I have no idea the difference between coated canvas and leather. I know what leather is. I don't know how it impacts the value. I think it's really just more about the name and the brand on the bag, right, than the actual material it's made of. CB says, I'm sorry, but Patrick Mahomes is a massive DB. Yeah, a lot of people agree with you there. Jelly says, are their addresses public record? Yeah, and Mahomes had a big house tour thing that he did with his wife when they built the house, when it was almost done. So there's video footage available of the inside of the house, so they could map out exactly where they needed to go, what they needed to do. There's even a shot in the video where his wife's like, oh, and that's where the Super Bowl trophy's gonna go. Like, you would think that people, you know, in that high profile position would know not to do stuff like that, but I mean, I guess you gotta flex on them. Beach says he is, but no one deserves to get robbed like that. I agree. It's tough to get that security stolen from you, and it's hard to gain back afterwards. And I know that from personal experience. Jelly says, isn't this what they made a movie on? The Bling Ring, but it was Paris Hilton. Oh, I have not seen that movie. I haven't seen most movies, though, so that doesn't mean anything. Kelce and Mahomes live on these larger pieces of land, so you could legit just park somewhere and walk up through the land to the house. Yes, but also, like, he lives on 8 acres, so it's not like you're walking off the sidewalk and you're at the dude's front door. Like, it takes some work to get up in to the house. So, like, these guys have security, and they're definitely, you know, doing some research to be able to circumvent whatever security measures their target home has, because they always seem to have all of the necessary technology to deal with every obstacle that's in their way. Jelly says, that's crazy, Meech. You got to run your land and know all the corners. That's right, dude. For real. When you own a home, it's public record. You don't have a choice on that. Yeah, for sure. But you know, it's unavoidable. But some of them will do an LLC. In some states, you can register your home as an LLC with an LLC as the owner. But even still, you know, it's very high profile when someone buys a home that's $10 million, you know? So, and it's not like there's a ton of them around. CB says it's much harder to get robbed when you live on an island surrounded by water. See? Thinking. That's how you do it. You have a moat. You have an island and a moat. That's all you need. And sharks. That's exactly why I'll never buy property, Nugget says. It takes work, but these guys that hit the Chiefs players use drones to scope out and study. Yeah, that's the other thing, too, is it's real easy to throw a drone up and just in a couple minutes have very, very high quality video of an entire huge property. Absolutely right. Yeah. Nugget says, well, that's not why. Okay. I will never buy property unless it has a moat. Smart thieves, this is their job, thieving and nothing else. That's right, Jelly. They got nothing but time. I do not know what moat stands for. I didn't know it was an acronym. I thought it was just like the little, you know, around the castle, yet the little water, you know? I don't know. Sharks, that's right. CB, you gotta have the sharks. You gotta have them right by the front door just in case.
Alleged involvement in a South America theft ring have pleaded not guilty to those charges
these
they
guys.
face in Clark County. Those 4 suspects are believed to have targeted.
These are the guys who got pulled over. The geniuses who got pulled over on the body cam that we watched.
In multi-million-dollar homes, and we have reason to believe one of the homes they hit was Joe Burrow's. Ken Brown's been following this.
We have reason to believe. Well, that's because that's exactly what happened. And here's one of the lawyers giving a statement, but it seems like public defender maybe, but I'm not sure.
County courtroom.
My client will acknowledge that he's received a copy of the indictment, waives the 24-hour rule, waive reading of the indictment.
Oh, Nugget says I don't know either. I'm asking. I'm not sure.
Contained therein. Enters a not guilty plea to each and every
CB says missing one alligator.
That's about the extent of what the defense had to say in court during the arraignments of Sergio Cabello, Jordan Sanchez, Alexander Highquill Chavez, and Bastian Morales. The same words were uttered in each of their 4 court appearances this afternoon.
I don't know. I don't know what moat would stand for. I don't know. Mini, ocean, and tall fence. So they got an arraignment in Clark County down there in Cincinnati, and you know, these 4 guys are gonna get justice. But we all know that these aren't the masterminds. These are the people who actually did mother of all tips. That's right. That's right, CB. That's how you keep them out.
Afternoon. These are the 4 men picked up by the Ohio State Highway Patrol this month, and troopers believe they are part of a South American burglary or theft ring. Troopers reported finding an LSU shirt and a Bengals hat in their vehicle. They also found a tool commonly used in home break-ins, and they say one of the men's cell phones was pinged in the area of a Hamilton County home that was burglarized back in December.
So the guy's phone was in the area of the robberies. They have the Bengals hat. They have the LSU shirt. I mean, Lord have mercy, boys. Like, these are definitely not the masterminds behind this nationwide operation, because whew,
we have reason to believe that home may have been Joe Burrow's. Judge Brian Driscoll held each man's...
We have reason to believe that the home allegedly was Joe Burrow's. These reporters are so afraid to commit to anything. Yeah, it was Joe Burrow's house, okay? It was Joe Burrow's house. He admitted it on television. I think we can identify that it was Joe Burrow's house.
Bond at $250,000 as they were sent back to the Clark County Jail with a pre-trial hearing date scheduled for March 11th. Today, the prosecution in this case declined to comment after the arraignments.
Declined to comment. Probably going to go nowhere, I'm just guessing. Clark County is pretty far north of Cincy, like getting towards Columbus. Yeah. They were pulled over by the highway patrol, headed north, on 71, I believe. They figured out how to rob Burrow, but they can't effing figure out how to be slick and get out of town. I know, dude. Like, what are y'all doing? What are you thinking about? Last week, we actually had some new developments in the case. And
Liberty Mutual is all she talks about since we stayed.
Commercial in the case too. Awesome. They brought the Bibberty guy back. We love the Bibberty.
To a series of crimes. The raid at a jewelry business in Midtown and
a raid at a jewelry business in Midtown. Okay, how is this possibly connected to Jabura?
Possible link to a series of crimes involving pro athletes.
Now we want to get out to News Force Mark Santia live with what we know about the raid and who's under arrest, Mark.
So this is kind of what we were talking about. Actually, Yellow Springs is Clark County, where Dave Chappelle lives. Oh, okay, cool. That explains that then, because the highway patrol definitely would just be hanging out on the main roads there. But so we were talking about earlier, what are they doing with all of these things that they're stealing? Like, how are they finding buyers for this stuff? And here we've got some new evidence.
Yeah, the investigation is underway right now. We are in the heart of the city's Diamond District. 47th Street was shut down for hours as federal agents and NYPD's major case squad locked down a location here described as a major fencing operation. And we're told this bust could be linked to some of the home invasions of some of the biggest athletes in pro sports. Federal agents and the NYPD raiding a business in Manhattan's Diamond District. Sources familiar with the investigation.
Now, I'm just going to speculate that what happened here is that an item came up for sale that was unique enough to be traced back to one of these robberies.
Investigation telling News 4 the raid may be linked to a string of recent home burglaries involving some of the biggest names in sports, including Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes, tight end Travis Kelce, and Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow.
Dude, I can't.
The FBI and major case squad making arrests and focusing in on a business on an upper floor that investigators believe worked with a South American transnational group behind the home invasions.
So they have legit places in the Diamond District where these guys are going and just selling all of these diamonds.
This is a major location, a major step forward in an investigation. A lot more work to do to see whether or not it is tied into some pro athletes who had their stuff taken.
Three sources familiar with the matter say investigators are looking into whether individuals connected to the break-in at the home of Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow are linked to any suspects running an alleged fencing operation. A fencing operation involves the buying and selling of stolen goods.
It is a step in the investigation, tying the pieces together. Those involved with the theft ring and those involved with disposing of the property after the theft. So it's a major investigation that's covering the entire country.
Two sources said additional arrests.
So the FBI seems to be involved in this investigation.
Arrests were being made in Florida in connection with the investigation. They also stressed investigators are early into the evidence gathering phase.
Look and see what has been recovered from the location and see if it ties into any other burglaries or thefts that have occurred around the country.
Now, I thought that was crazy that a legit diamond place would be risking their integrity in the market and selling stolen things. Meech is very familiar with this district. It's like a flea market for jewelry. Yes. So I found this documentary we're not going to watch called How Crime Works. And they did
File
this
your taxes
about
100%
a year
free and
ago. And this is a guy who was involved in an international theft ring. And he talks about kind of like how, how they're doing certain things and, the ins and outs of how they would find the people that they were targeting and blah, blah, blah. But I thought that this part was interesting where they reveal kind of what they would do with the items that after they stole them. And I encourage you to, if you're interested in this topic, to watch this whole thing, because it's only 15 minutes and it's actually kind of cool to hear him like talk so nonchalantly about like the crazy stuff he's been involved in. But anyways, so here he's going to talk about how they get rid of the items.
There was only a really, really flimsy, alarm, but we put the foam into the alarm. We started wrapping up the stuff. We had someone out there. They reversed the van in, and we loaded that van very, very quickly.
Right there, sorry. Okay.
Getting rid of the proceeds of a burglary is one of the most risky times. But sometimes we would be stuck with certain items. I remember once we had a stamp collection, which come out of a safe. Because of the rarity and the misprints on some of these stamps, which was what made them valuable in the first place, it was very hard to find a buyer for these. Their great value translated to a much lower price, which we had to take. We had very key influential jewelers in London who would break up the stones, who would weigh the gold, who would be able to move any amount of jewelry.
So with certain jewelry where the crafting of the piece is not as essential to the value of it, I guess, they would just take all of the jewels out of the pieces and melt the gold down and just sell the gold just for whatever the gold value was. And then they would sell kind of these loose stones. But even though they're selling loose stones, the person who's buying them knows that they're buying stolen goods. So it's, even if it's worth 50 grand, you're not going to get 50 grand for it. You're not even going to get 25.
Very quickly. We had other people who was in the antiques market. They would act as middlemen.
Antiques?
The paintings guys, they was a different market.
Okay.
And I had a couple of...
So those guys are moving like the art and paintings and statues and maybe like small furniture pieces and different things.
People who worked in that area, and it was very specialized, and they would usually always go to private collectors.
Yeah, see, that's what I feel like a lot of this stuff is going to private collectors, because there's no other way for a buyer to enjoy an item that is rare and stolen. And the more rare it is, the more secretive it would have to be. Meech says, the stories I have about jewelry theft, I could write an effing book. Dude, you should, because that is incredibly interesting. Yeah, dude, that's awesome. We should talk of some jewelry thefts sometimes. I want to hear about some heists, you know what I'm saying? Meech says it depends on how big the stones are, but they usually come with paperwork on transfer records. Oh yeah, there's no paperwork. These are all cash deals. Buyers are using fake names. Yeah, there is no paperwork on these.
The retail.
Well, maybe there is, and they're like falsifying it. Like maybe that was what they're using like the dealers for like maybe getting some sort of like someone to say like, hey, I'm a jeweler and I say this is a legitimate stone and it's totes not stolen. I don't know. I don't know what the plan would be, but yeah, okay.
Price
So here's
of diamonds or jewels or gold or antiques is greatly diminished by the time it goes to the black market. If you had a 50 grand diamond, you'd more than likely go and get 12, 13 for it. With gold, you'd get
see, this is the clip I was talking about, man. A $50,000 diamond and you're getting 12 grand for it. And you're happy about that.
a quarter of the price scrap.
The gold, they would get a quarter of the price, dude. Scrap value. Nugget says, I will only buy that book if it comes with a puffy coat. Yeah, Meech, make you a whole brand here. You know, I think you would sell more puffy coats than Rover. You'd at least know what time of year to sell them. Meech says, like, I can't go and buy a stone without my business name, EIN, and credit check, but I know there's a lot of shady stuff. Oh yeah, for sure. Like, you can't, there's, all of those things are meticulously tracked, and they have to be. But if you're introducing a stone into the market that is not legitimate, I feel like the buyer of those stones, in most cases, knows that they're not legitimate, and that's why they're seeking them out, so that they can get the thing at a lower price. Meech says, that pile of jewelry, I've sifted through piles like that to find some cool stuff. Oh, before it all gets melted down. That is kind of crazy, man. Like, the way it just is, like, the bulk, like, each of those individual pieces were so fancy, and someone was, like, so, you know, assigned so much sentimental and emotional value to those pieces, and now it's just all just a bunch of junk getting thrown into the melter. Meech says, yeah, these aren't legit jewelers going to buy these normally. Yeah, no way. No way. If you're buying through a legit jeweler, they're going to have all their paperwork in order so that they don't get accused of selling stolen stuff, because that kind of would ruin your image, like it is about to for this diamond place in New York. But
Right. There were many times I had paintings worth hundreds of thousands. You'd be lucky to get a few thousand for some of these paintings.
a few thousand. A painting worth hundreds of thousands, you get a few thousand for it, dude. Like, what is even the point? Like, what did you do all that for? I bet they spent 5,000 or 10,000 on surveillance for each of these break-ins. It's crazy. Meech says, or maybe they are. I'm just not that deep into the stone dealing. I know it gets crazy. Dude, I've watched some another documentary about like the raw stone business, and it is super sketch. I don't remember a lot of the specifics right now, but maybe we can do like a future episode about that, because man, it is a whole rabbit hole. It's wild. But yeah, it's so crazy to see just like all that jewelry just getting dumped right into the melt.
Stolen goods for burglary gangs is pretty much the same. There is a tendency now to go for a lot of high performance cars because they can be shipped abroad, replated, and there's a lot of money in this to order.
Yeah, so stealing the cars, that makes sense. It's definitely easier to move cars because they're not as rare. Even a car where there's, you know, only several thousand are made per year, that's enough usually that you could VIN swap and obscure it to be able to move it to, you know, a lot of those cars get moved overseas. The stolen high-end vehicles, so they're not necessarily staying in the United States for any period of time. Meech says the raw stones is the wild, wild west. Yeah, it definitely is. CB says, I want a black diamond. Dude, that sounds cool. Ooh, a black diamond. Yeah, that would be neat.
The gang always broke down.
I want to see what that looks like.
Profit 4 ways, 5 ways, whoever was involved. And
so you got to split your $3,000 5 ways.
Depending on how much of a leading role they had in any given.
Ooh, Meech says black diamonds are easy to get.
Fund the lifestyle of drugs and parties and going out. Others, it would be cars and watches, or women even.
So it's kind of like whatever you're interested in.
To invest in the next job. Needed equipment, or even to pay off someone who was giving us new quality information.
Yeah, see, and that's a lot of the hidden expenses that go into these kind of operations. They're spending thousands just to get information and surveillance on these targets that they're doing. Tessa says, dude, I love black diamonds, CB. Meech says, I could find you one at a good price. Those aren't marked up like other colors. Oh, okay. That's good to know. See, that's good insider info, man. I think a black diamond is cool. That's like really unique too. Actually, I want to see what that looks like. Ooh. Wow. Wow, that is very cool, man. Very cool. That's pretty awesome, man. Oh yeah, this one's only 3,000. Okay. All right. Well, cool. Hey, learning something every time. Thank you for teaching us, Meech. Okay, nice. There's yeah. I did not know that about the black diamond. But anyways, yeah, so if you're a celebrity, watch out, man. Cause these guys they have been at it for years, and investigators are just struggling to capture them. Finally, we're getting some movement in the case. The FBI is involved. They're actually tying these events together that happened across huge. I mean, you know, the Milwaukee Bucks guy, Kelce and Mahomes, and then Burrow, all targeted, and they're so far apart. And then here is the Diamond Exchange in Midtown Manhattan is where the jewelry ends up. Like that's not just like 4 little 19-year-olds in a rented car pulling that whole thing off. Like this is a huge operation, and they seemingly still know very little to nothing about it, or maybe they're holding back. So Tessa says, I wanted my engagement ring to be a black diamond, and John told me no. Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that. Jelly says, ooh, I like purple. Oh, there's purple too? Ooh, man. Tessa says, wifey ×2. Yeah. Meech says, purple diamonds are big dollars. Okay. All right. That makes sense because they're probably super rare, you know. A lot of people would want that. Nugget says, what about a unique black dot in an engagement ring? Ready to turn a profit? I can dye it all black. There you go, Nugget. There you go. You know, what do we need to mine these things for? Let's just paint them and get rich. They look like big amethyst, Jelly says, the purple diamond. Okay, a black diamond engagement ring, though, that would have been fire. Yeah, dude, for sure. These things look really cool. Nugget Man says perfect imperfection. Yeah, hold on. I want to see an engagement right now. See, now this is gonna This is gonna just ruin my my Google. Oh Lord have mercy. Okay, hold on. Oh wow, yeah, these look cool. These look cool. Wow. Well, that is wild. Thank you for teaching me. Jelly says men are boring. CB says I wanted a black engagement ring too and was also told no. I think that's neat. And honestly, like, even if the black diamond is that like less valuable than a clear diamond? They cost less than, is that what you were saying, Meech? I mean, purple is a more subtle purple color and a hell of a lot more sparkle. Oh, okay, okay. So the purple diamond gets that super sparkle effect. So that's, yeah, Jelly says, so that's the draw. Yeah, that's why everybody wants the purple, because it's, you get that crazy sparkle. But yeah, that's neat. You know? Even if it's kind of like you know, not as valuable as the other colors, the black ones still look really sweet, I think. And like, it's unique, you know, not everybody's gonna have that. And having unique jewelry is the only way to protect yourself from the South American generic crime syndicate. Tessa says, stupid men. Meech says, black cognac and white diamonds are the least expensive. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, black diamond all the way, baby. Cognac, I don't know what a cognac diamond would look like, but we can learn about that next time. But yeah, that's all we got for you this episode. I appreciate y'all hanging out. Thank you again for being here on the extras. And I hope y'all have a great week. I got some fun stuff planned for Friday. And I'm going to make the hard-boiled icing egg with sprinkles on it. And we will, from the one video that I wrote a note that we have to try that. And we will try that on the stream on Friday. We'll try the weird egg. So thank you guys for being here, and I will catch you guys on Friday. Peace.